Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to KliqThisTV.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussions.
Kev, you want to do another? Let's just get right to the important shit. Kev, you want to do another?
Nah.
Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. He's Kev, I'm Sean. If you're looking for someone else, you're in the wrong goddamn room. You know, Kev, I had some time, to myself a little bit for the first time in a long time because I'm getting near the end of the road with the Insane Clown Posse book. So things are, I'm wrapping that up and just kind of in project limbo. I have a lot of meetings about stuff, but I had some time to myself. So
Is school over yet?
School's not over. No, the kids. My oldest is home though, but she's in a show and she did a cabaret in Manhattan the other night. I was very happy. I got to go to Don't Tell Mama, the legendary New York cabaret club, and watch my daughter on that stage singing, which was great. Little one's still in school. School's still going. Couple more weeks. Got to round out June. But I had time to guiltlessly watch something. Or I found myself in a bookstore a couple of times this week, too, making too many purchases. And so, but I got paralyzed by everything that I hear on this show as a suggestion. And it was analysis paralysis, and I couldn't choose anything. So I ended up not. I talked about the Pee Wee Herman thing last week, right? So I did watch that one, which was good. And then I had this discussion with my wife. So we watched this, that. So she put on. There's a new season of the new Sex and the City. I'm gonna forget the name. It's called something, and Just Like That, it's called. Now, are you watching that?
No.
You're not. Okay. That's
my wife. Once Big was gone, I was into that.
I replaced some of Big's noises in one of his passionate scenes with Sarah Jessica. He was grunting. It sounded like a bear raping a rabbit, and they wanted to soften him a little, so I did his grunts and groans.
I played her beauty mark.
Hot or not, Sarah Jessica Parker, putting you right on the spot. Putting you right on the spot.
Not my cup of tea.
Okay. Who on that show? You're familiar with the show, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
So which of them would have been Kevin Nash's cup of tea back in the day? None. Interesting. Okay.
I'm a very anti-makeup, high profile. I gotta have this kind of bag person.
Oh, I was going exclusively, totally superficially, and talking about just looks, body.
Yeah, but it looks when it's that made up.
Right. Gotcha. But you did you did watch what's the
with
Hacks.
Sirens?
Hacks. No,
I watched Hacks.
Hacks. I wanted to ask you something, but I thought about it this week. I think I was driving in the car. Are we hacks? I'm talking about the two characters in this show.
No.
Like the legend, the annoying writer chick who
Yeah, but
pairs up with
if
the
you were
established legend.
If you were 20, maybe.
Why? I'm talking about the role, the roles
Yeah,
that
but
they function in each other's.
It's because to be a hack, you've got to be like you're just kind of, you know, doing this. You're doing the same match you have your whole life. Where the young bisexual writer she has is kind of making her super hip.
But she'd done it all. She'd been everywhere. Didn't have to do it anymore. She had that mansion. I remember in one of the seasons, like to really.
She got cut from her Vegas gig. She kind of had a Wayne Newton type gig at one of the hotels, and that got cut. So then she went on the road, and she got the young girl to take her on the road. She ended up doing like an HBO special type thing, which relaunched her, and she became relevant again.
Kind of seems exactly like this. We're on the road right now, right?
No, I'm in my fucking condo.
On Monday morning.
Yeah.
So the Knicks story has ended.
Yep.
As we predicted by choosing the show name before the game was over last week. When was that was the Thursday night game, and then Saturday was the end of that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just there's no way in the NBA you're going to win 3 games in a row.
As improbable as it is, it's fun to root for. And to be honest, in the game 6 was the final game, right? Game 6.
Yeah.
Until
they were down by 30?
Until the 4th, I thought it was because they were always 6, 7 points. I feel
they could never, but it was never
in that range.
It was never like when you see somebody pull out, they usually go up 8. They couldn't pull in. They couldn't pull closer than 6.
Right.
They just never,
And then by in the 4th, it was just became evident that they were being outclassed.
I like when they put the bench guys in with like a minute and a half left. In the last game of the Eastern Finals. Like, fuck it.
And they fired Thibodeau. Right? I don't understand. Like you get right to the door. And you get 6 games.
Do you know who has coached? Do you know who has coached the Knicks?
Who has coached through the years?
I mean, during the years it hasn't produced.
Oh, let's see. All right, Herb. I think I started watching basketball when it was Herb. The hell was his name with the white hair? And then the
Herbie Brown, Hubie Brown,
Hubie Brown. I'm sorry. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but they had Red Holzman. Like they won it with Holzman twice, I think. Right, 70 and 73.
Yeah, it's before me.
And then they never got the only other 2 coaches that got them to the NBA Finals was Riley got them there in '94, and I think Van Gundy got them there in '99.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's the cavalcade of guys that went through there, from Don Nelson to Lenny Wilkins to, I mean, Phil Jackson was there for a season.
Phil Jackson was there. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's a hard place to. You can't. It's almost like a team or a city can't have. You can't have the fucking Yankees and have another great franchise. You know what I mean? It's just it's almost like you're asking too much
Of the city.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like the Yankees are kind of the that's. Well, I mean, when was the last time the Rangers won?
If you'd stayed with basketball, what team would you have liked to have been drafted by? You would have been drafted in what, 79?
81, 80, 81?
All right, 80. What NBA team, 1980, if you had a magic wand, would you have put yourself on? For whatever reason. The city, the team, working with somebody on the team.
Magic. I would want who wouldn't want to play for the Lakers?
Yeah.
Go to LA. It was a different league.
It was a different league, but also with so much talent on a team. Isn't that almost more difficult to make a name for yourself because you've got Magic and I don't know if Worthy was there in '80 yet. Probably not.
I just want to back up Kareem and get 6 minutes a night. I don't give a fuck.
That's true. That's true. Being at practice with Kareem and Magic, amazing.
Get the ring. There wasn't that kind of coin back then.
Yeah.
I mean, Magic. Would Magic sign 20 years for $20 million?
Was that the contract?
Yeah, I think that was the deal he got. Was 20 years at $20 million.
I had no idea the term was that long. That's insane. You never heard it. I've never heard of a deal.
Well, that was his redo. But I mean, like the shoe deals were. I want to think that Magic got $250K for his fucking Converse deal, and it was like maybe $50K more than Bird got for his Converse deal. I watched a show last night on Netflix, and Shaq and Iverson are taking over Reebok, and Shaq's the president of Reebok, and they're going out and they're going to rebrand Reebok. And you're talking about giving a fucking G League guy like 7 figures to wear a shoe,
right?
And a high school senior.
Was Jordan the first big shoe contract? 87. When did the Air Jordan come out? 86, maybe 86. 87?
But I think that his was it was lucrative, but it was incentive based. There were like 4 incentives. One was to like be the rookie of the year. One was to average maybe 20 points. Another thing was to make the All-Star game, and another one was to maybe beat the All-Star MVP. There were like, and he did them all, and then on top of that, the shoe had to sell 1 million pairs, which.
His shoe deal with Nike tied in his court performance to the salary. Interesting.
Because it was Nike just didn't have the kind of money that they were offering him.
Right.
You know.
Do you remember? It was just two styles, right? There was the red, black, and white. Then there was the blue and yellow, which I thought was weird, but it's smart because that was kind of the Laker colors, right? Obviously.
I think they were just blue and whites. I think they were just the Carolina colors. I think the Jordan ones I have are just the red, black, and whites.
I could swear that in that first release there was Steve, find a picture, a blue and yellow. And I always just assumed because Lakers were popular, kids would want to wear. Okay, so you're right. So that's the first one. There's one I remember also that had like more white in the middle.
Fives are the sweet ones.
Okay, so
I was always a fan of fives. Huge fan. I used to wear those on TV, those 6s all the time when I was in wrestling.
Those right there, the black ones?
Yeah, they were kind of like a felty. And then I liked the 11s and the 13s.
The sneaker world is it's crazy. First of all, the price of some of them are, again, you can make a Gucci beanie reference if you want, but the price of some of the sneakers it leaves me speechless. And just the whole culture of like when they're released, there are lines around sneaker places when a new sneaker comes out. Well, I guess it's the same as anything else when you're a collector of something.
Yeah.
But again,
What ended up happening though is like then you get artists that do
limited edition
right, and
things
so
with the
I mean,
sneakers.
okay, so it's
Nike is releasing a dunk this year at some point. That I've never anticipated a sneaker, but it's a CBGB dunk with like the logo. The Nike is written in the. It's subtle. Nike is written in the font of the awning of CBGB's, the famous punk club on Bowery, downtown Manhattan. No longer there. And yeah, see there it is. And inside it says Bleecker and Bowery. And but I'm like, that's a whole culture. I don't know when it's going to be released, where to find it, how to be notified. And somebody post in the comments how I can, like, is there a site that I could check that'll keep me up to release date April 1st? So they're out. All right, so I can get them then if they're still available. All right, thank you, Steve. Don't post in the comments then, please. What I need to do. I was going to ask you something. Did T ever get into that, like the Jordans, like all those limited edition Jordans and stuff? Was he ever into the?
He used to wear the jersey. He got into a period where he wore the jerseys. His feet grew so fast, man. It was just. I remember when he was like, before he could, when he was just a little baby, we got him some Jordans. They were like $90. Those things lasted like a week, and they couldn't even get them on them.
Yeah, the kids
like,
don't spend a lot of money on the kids' clothes.
We went directly to. We were out in Arizona at the time. We went directly to Birkenstocks. Like baby Birkenstocks, so he could just grow into them.
Yeah. Do you have NBA memorabilia at all, like jerseys or signed balls or anything?
Nah, I used to have. I got a couple of basketballs.
Because I knew you had the baseballs.
We've
talked about.
I have basketballs. I have footballs. I just, it's like anything else. It's just like I don't have anywhere to fucking display them.
Yeah. But it's been over the years being such a big fan, and if you saw like an auction pop up to get like a piece of the floor from the Boston Garden, you wouldn't want the Boston Garden, but
I don't even have any of my own gear.
You didn't keep your Tennessee jersey?
The one that they brought to my house when I signed it, I have it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got that.
Show us some week. I'd love to see that.
It's tiny, man. I don't think it would have fit me when I was a senior.
Right.
They just brought it just to, put my name on the back of it, put my number on it.
Do they assign you the number when they?
Well, I mean, it was my high school number.
And it was available, so
it was available, so I got it.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit. You know what would fit you perfectly, though? Anything from True Classic, Kevin.
I just got.
Yeah.
What is the collection? Maybe it's called the Summer Collection. It's got like 6 different colored T-shirts.
Yes.
I just ordered that. I wore. There's kind of a. Oh God, what color? It's like a maroon, but it's like a real pastel-y maroon. I wore it the other day, and my wife, she was just sitting across me at the restaurant, and she reached across and she just kind of did like, on the arm. She says, "Those are really nice T-shirts." She goes,
I gotta tell you, Kevin, you hear like, oh, T-shirt cut for a man and all that shit. It's not bullshit.
This is one. I have one on one right now.
Excellent.
This is a true classic.
I find the more I wash them too, the better the fit. Guys, what sets these apart? It's not just the fit or the fabric. It's the intention behind everything this company does. They're built to make an impact, whether it's just helping men show up a little better in their daily lives or giving back to underserved communities, making people laugh with the ads. They don't take themselves too seriously, so they have some fun with that. They lead with purpose, and I've been wearing True Classic T-shirts since we got them, since they became a sponsor, and they landed on my radar. Kevin, too. Kevin calls it the hanging T-shirt. And I noticed the difference the first time I put it on, and I love them more each time I wear them. It's tailored where you want. It's relaxed where you want. There's no bunching, no stiff fabric. Clean, effortless fit. Works for real life, all right? Forget overpriced designer brands. You look like $1 million in these. You can ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. I promise you this will be the best T-shirt your fella ever puts on, or if you're a fella yourself, that you'll ever put on. Grab them at Target. They're at Costco now. Or get hooked up by us and go to trueclassic.com/Kliq, Kliq. trueclassic.com/Kliq. Show us your fit, too. Hit us on the socials, or hit them on the socials at hashtag TrueClassicPod. And let them know Kliq This sent you. Love me some True Classic. Kevin, some feedback from last week. Autistic Andrew was watching or listening. He said, Kevin and Sean, I've watched from the beginning. Kliq This is my favorite podcast. You guys really help me when I'm feeling a certain way. Thanks for never selling out like Bill Maher did. Yeah, Bill's opinion's kind of all over the place. If you go back and watch the old shows and watch now, he is a little unsure of him of where he stands on stuff.
No, I think what happens is you get older.
That's true too.
He's got more. He sat down with Trump. You know, he went and sat down with Trump and had a conversation. And I haven't had a conversation with Donald Trump. So, like people say, you know, people will say on my social media, you hate him. I'm like, how do you possibly, as a grown man, have hatred for somebody that you don't know? Like, why would you even, like, how do you even make that statement? Like, hatred is, that's about the strongest emotion you can have. Like, the only emotion that can really get you locked up is hatred.
You can hate a lot of what he's done and what he's said, though, don't you?
You can disagree with it.
I don't know.
I think hate's way, way, way fucking strong.
I'm not talking about policy stuff.
I'm talking about
standing there making fun of the handicapped reporter and going, ooh.
I don't hate that. You know?
Okay.
I'm more disappointed that people voted for him as our president after he did it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's like today, the big thing was, you know, and Elon Musk said, and don't think that Trump's not coming out in those Epstein. No shit. You don't think fucking the 9,000 pictures you've seen of fucking Epstein and Trump together, that they might have had an occasional bump in on that island? Get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. Like, what world do we live in?
Well, Elon's just going wild, throwing shit out there today. I don't know the relevance of that to anything he has a gripe with about the big, beautiful bill or the cuts to Doge. But
no, I think that, I mean, then they want to make it as simple as, oh, he looked at the big, beautiful bill and they cut the incentives on buying EVs. So that's gone. So that's, you know. So I just don't see somebody going batshit crazy over that. Because yeah, I think, to me, we went out, Tamara and I went out with another couple on Saturday night to an Italian restaurant that we hadn't been to in ages down New Smyrna. And there were 3 Teslas in the parking lot. And as I pulled up, Tamara says, "Oh God, don't park next to that Tesla. And I said, why not? She goes, somebody will fucking blow it up. It'll blow up our
Blow
car.
up your car.
I said, no. I said, he's kind of been on an anti-Trump thing. I said, I think he's turning babyface again. And
Right.
so it's just, there's so much shit going on a daily basis. Like, you can't even. So everybody is like, they're talking about the tariffs, and I haven't heard one person tell me, you can say what you want, but thank God, man, my groceries have the price of my groceries have plummeted. And this was all coming to me like in just droves of thoughts as I was pumping $4.18 gas into my car the other day. Like, ain't shit changed. Two days into the office, the Ukrainian war, that situation would be over. Now it's Ukraine hit them with drones that they've had planted over there for 18 months. They took out 20% of their strategic bombers. And then I saw a news clip that was, you can't tell if it's new or old because, deep fake 101.
Mm-hmm.
But there was kilometer after kilometer of mechanized armor on the back of trucks going, I wouldn't imagine, away from the Ukraine. So,
yeah. But for so many people in the Trump bubble, I don't think they care about global issues. I don't know that they care about global issues as much.
Well,
as
then here's
immigration and just doing
here's
some
one for you.
ethnic cleansing in the United States.
How many people
They're
do you
big
think?
on that?
How many people do you think want? Want the pride of buying American, to have the choice to buy American products. Like, that's what they want. I mean, that would, if it was the exact same price, and it was
If it was the same
quality,
price and same quality,
and it was American. Shit, 80%, 90% of the
yeah. I
country?
mean, I think, yeah, sure. I think
Isn't that kind of what this whole thing's about?
no, the tariffs.
No, well,
He's feeding that line, but anyone with a brain knows that has nothing to do with that. This is to.
So this is from the New York Times, and it says Trump wants America to make things again, but do we have what it takes? In many industries, the undertaking would take years, if not decades. The United States lacks nearly every part of the manufacturing ecosystem: the workers, the training, the technology, and the government support. So that's the first part of it. Let me find the second.
When you talk about that too, Kevin, we were talking. So you were educating me about the Ford manufacturing.
Hold on here. One more thing.
Go ahead.
American factories have already struggled to fill around half a million jobs, according to estimates by Wells Fargo's economists. They calculate that to get manufacturing as a share of employment back to where the 70s peak was, that Mr. Trump he's called for, new factories would have to open, and we would have to hire 22 million people. We would need 22 people in those manufacturing jobs. We have 7.2 million people that are unemployed. and that's 22 million people to work in jobs that nobody wanted to do in the first place.
That's what I was going to say.
That's why they all got shipped to someplace
Right.
else.
Why are we ignoring the fact that in job creation, we don't want menial manufacturing jobs?
No, we want to sit at home at our computer and do a service job.
Well, if you look at economics, the basics of economics, any nation, as it gets wealthier, it moves away from manufacturing type jobs to service sector jobs. Higher paying. And in this country right now, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimates the U.S. has a shortage of 120,000 physicians. Where's the push for investing in science in classrooms or anything? Well, we'll cut the Department of Education. That's fine. So instead of a push for science in the classrooms or extra after-school programs for STEM and STEAM, why aren't we pushing these jobs? I'm saying we. I know why the big we doesn't. But the smart we is asking, why aren't we?
Well, one of the things is that how many when you Google, especially being a specialist, and it's like to get your colon checked or to whatever it's going to be, and you look for the top 10 in the area, and they're all Indian, Pakistanis. Like there's no Americans because they come over from other countries, they become doctors, and then they stay over here and they take the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I look at the whole thing. Nobody wants to work, period. Like the worst thing that could ever happen to this country is to sit at home during COVID and get a check. I mean, that was...
I think that's floated from a lot of people's memories, though.
No, man, that's like having AI sex for a year. Some beautiful bot in your house. You don't forget shit like that. You're just waiting for the fucking opportunity or the improved version of it. I mean...
I don't know. I don't think that number's big enough to even be considered significant of people that have been work broken by having lived through COVID and had modified.
Well, I
work
know a lot of
schedules.
people that gave up jobs that wouldn't go back to their brick and mortar offices.
Mm-hmm. But we've gradually moved away from that, right?
We've had to because people won't they won't go to the jobs. They've already proven they can do it at home. They're taking the transportation to and from out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like their argument's strong enough. Well, if it worked for 18 months, like why would I go back just because you build a fucking office building or because you're leasing 4 floors in this complex in Oklahoma City?
In that one building.
That one tall building.
The one tall building.
The big one. Big Bertha.
Specific to big pharma and the pharmaceutical industry. Let's talk about something I don't hear. I hear the auto plants always talked about the effect on pharmaceutical prices by engaging China in a tariff war.
It's not even affecting
people.
It's not even affecting. It's affecting the actual availability, not the pricing.
It would affect the pricing because they're going to have to.
We count on them for everything.
But yes,
they could just tell us, "Go fuck yourself." We'd be dying. You know, it's not like they don't have us outnumbered as it is.
But it's not an oft-cited effect of this.
Well, we were talking today. We were talking about, and I said that the Ford Explorer had to shut down for a week
Right.
on manufacturing the car or the SUV, and it was a magnet that is made in China that was holding up production.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're back producing, the Explorer, but it's like we don't have anything. We don't fucking make anything here.
Right.
It's the same as all of a sudden when Trump decided he was going to go back to the 50% tariff on steel and aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
China is by far like the largest producer of steel in the world, and I looked up Great Lakes Steel, I looked up McLeod Steel, I looked up all the steel mills that were around my house when I was a kid. None of those are functioning. Like they're just not they're not viable. Great Lake, I think, maybe 2009 or 19 or something. I think they still had one of the blast furnaces still they could have done something with. But you're talking, we're like, where are we going to make up this 25% of the steel that we import? We can't manufacture it. Now you've got a picture of Trump with a bunch of guys behind him in hard hats who are United Steelworkers, and they're rallying around the flag because they think it's job security. When I was a kid, McLeod Steel and Great Lakes Steel, they were working three shifts. Like that, you get out of high school and you worked you worked the midnight shift. So people don't. It's just like.
But the economics of having something produced more cheaply in countries that don't have labor laws that ensure that people who work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, maybe multiple shifts, have a living wage. We do that here. And that's why we're never going to produce. The whole theory of, well, if you discourage people from companies from buying China, we'll make it here. You won't make it here for the cost that you're talking about because you have to fucking pay people
it's not possible,
a living
right.
wage. It's just never going to happen.
We went through it. It was, God, it was. Wasn't it like $60 an hour for the U.S. auto worker?
70. It was. Oh, I don't know if it was auto work. It was the cost to produce.
Yeah,
here.
it was like $72 an hour here.
Right, and it was like 43 was the next closest.
Canada,
which was
and
Canada.
then $6.
Like 6 in China.
Yeah, and it's 6 was in Mexico.
Oh, was it Mexico? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like, so where are you going to build your? And wow, lo and behold, BMW just built $1 billion plant in Mexico.
Right. Yep. Chris Arctur says this is the realest podcast I check out. Whether it's sports, movies, nobody gets as real as Nash. And Sabbath Worship says, I honestly thought Sean was older than Kevin. Sorry, Sean. It's fine. It's fine. We get that all the time.
Oh, so you're the hack, and I'm the young fucking bisexual writer.
Keep telling you that. Graham McIntosh, painful listening to Sean try and talk sports. Listen, Graham. It's painful to watch sports sometimes while I'm writing best-selling books, meeting with two producers and writers for two different companies for two options I have for my books to come to TV. managing the most popular podcast in the genre, going into print for the ICP's milestone book, and my wife running a theater company. You know, that's requirements on the home too. Both my kids are performers, and I try to see everything they do. But Graham, I want your life. Let me know when we can switch. The Karma Clown says, I literally just got results from my testosterone test. Drum roll for the Karma Clown. 113.
Ooh.
Ugh. I'm immediately scheduling an appointment with my doc. What was the What was the target number? 400, I think you said.
I mean, 400 is like about minimum.
Good enough. Good.
Yeah,
God.
119. That's.
What begins to happen at 119? If you're deficient in tests.
Well, this is my theory, and I'm sure that it's everybody else's. Your prostate is a sex organ, and if you're not producing testosterone, then that means that you're going to get a flush and higher numbers of estrogen, which leads to belly fat, which leads to the breasts, and which leads to an enlarged prostate because the prostate gets attacked by the estrogen. So,
Right.
but everything has got to be. There's none of this shit where just go up to the local guy and get a hey, you gotta get some tests. Oh yeah, put cotton seed in your ass, and I mean there's doctors, and your estrol might go through the roof. You might need to take an estrogen blocker while you take the testosterone. I mean, all this is done by having your blood work done every 3 months. It's science, guys. It's what makes this.
Well,
what makes me at 65 years old not fucking look like I'm 65 years old.
Well, the Carnage Clown said he's going to his doctor, so he's doing.
Make sure the doctor's a longevity doctor, and not, like I always say, some guy that give you a heart attack. Like, oh, okay.
A doctor would say that testosterone will give you a heart attack.
Yeah, they don't know any better.
No.
It's not like the guy's going on a fucking Mr. Olympia cycle.
Right.
You take what they fucking tell you. You don't take any more than they tell you. You don't take any less than they tell you. 'Cause that's the only way that when you get your blood work back, that he can sit there and look at it. If it's through the roof, then you've got to make some adjustments.
Ryan does pools. Wife had a new Mustang convertible in the bouncer years. Fox bodies are my favorite. Gonna need the details on that ride, Big Kev.
What's a Fox body?
5.0, year, color, that's my shizzle. So.
My wife's was white. It was a white. It was a white 5.0 with white interior and a white convertible top.
And what year he wanted to know also.
Let me see what a 90 looked like. Maybe an 89.
Fox body, never heard of that?
Nah, I don't know the reference.
All right, well, you look that up.
1988 Ford Mustang.
There's the actual voice texting. Kevin was yelling at his phone earlier, too.
Yeah, it would have been an 88.
88. Okay. There you go, Ryan. Ryan, another lover of the Mustang.
It was a good-looking Mustang. I thought it was a good-looking Mustang. Like, it's this model. Let me see if I can pull one up. Oh, John, don't be hollering at me.
Now, someone's yelling at you. The best at Wotito says, damn, our truth. The best is referencing the release. Ron Killings this week.
Well, I mean, I've heard he was released, and I heard that he was offered to stay on, but like from what I've heard, he was getting $550 as a downside guarantee. So.
And then there was another offer. There was an offer made. I think I got this quote maybe from Coachman. He did say, this is a quote from Jonathan Coachman. I should put this out there because I had someone reach out to me. Reportedly, they did offer R-Truth a contract that was far less money than he was making, and he decided to turn that down, Coachman said. That's what somebody told me that's in the know. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure. So
Why would you even put that on anything? If it's what somebody told me, I don't know if it's true or not.
Unless he knows it to be true and he has to say he doesn't know to be true, so as not to throw
but
the
at the same
source
time,
under the
though,
bus.
it's like all that is somebody trying. Like I kind of want to be like that guy, but I don't want the heat that comes with being that guy. So I'll
Right.
just
100%.
throw this out as, you know.
But if this is a financial decision, roster cutbacks, okay, if they needed to trim the roster to achieve whatever financial goals are set for this quarter, this year, whatever it is, why is R-Truth a bad choice based on how he's being used now? After how long's he been there? 20 years? 25 years?
I think that's always going to come down to the fact that there aren't many black athletes on the roster.
Black athletes? Oh, on WWE's roster.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the roster, and to cut one is not to cut one. To cut Ron is who's very popular in the locker room. Is like I was more shocked that Strowman got cut than I was that Ron got cut, as far as just from usability and time left in the business and everything else you've got.
What about Carlito?
Well, they brought Carlito kind of back for that Bad Bunny thing, and that kind of exploded. It was in the pay-per-view was in Puerto Rico, and once again, I don't know what Carlito was making, but the thing is both of them are both still. They got gas in the tank. They can both still go. But if you're not going to use them, like to make $500,000 a year to hang out and do skits with Dom in the back, or to make run-ins like that, that's just not. That's just not. That's.
Like, I'm sure the writing room was asked, is there anything, do we have anything here with him? Is there anything coming in the future? And
I mean, and it has to be something that singles them out as, because Ronnie had that match with Cena at Saturday Night Main Event, and then I did some research if he wrestled since. I think he did like maybe a job match on SmackDown.
mm-hmm.
And then it was, so.
But the locker room kind of rallying behind him, and apparently, according to news reports, WWE made it a point to tell everyone not to wear.
I said I can't see that.
Any gear, because as sometimes happens when someone leaves, there's a little representation.
I've been in so many locker rooms in my life. I've never had everybody pulled into catering and be told, oh, and by the way, we don't want anybody wearing any tribute Ron Killings paraphernalia out to the ring tonight. Because that would make every fucking guy in the locker room
Put one on.
Exactly.
Yeah. But along those lines, they did pull R-Truth's Ron Cena t-shirt. It was a top seller after that parody, and they did pull it from the store. Why the effort to erase him from WWE existence? Was there the we wish him good luck on future endeavors? What was that tweet sent out? Was why the erasure of R-Truth? You have to wonder if there's more.
Can I make something up?
You can.
I was talking to a guy while he was changing my washer fluid the other day, and he told me that once this trial goes to,
But it may not be true. You just put that.
But then again, it may be all completely bullshit.
We coach him to get his name quoted and all the stories, yet have no
but not
accountability
fucking
for it.
but not fucking have anything, not have enough sack to fucking. He was making too much money, you know. That what did I see that they made last year? They had like a breakdown, like 1.32 billion, and they profited 622 million.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Okay. After
so that half a mil out of that 652 mil, that's, you know, you got.
But listen,
keep your eye on that.
You do, because that's one of many costs that were probably cut if
and
they
people
need to
don't
hit a
look
certain
at
number
it
this quarter.
We all look at it because I consider Ron a friend. I've known Ron for 1,000 years. He's always, man, he's just a good fucking dude. Always makes you laugh. But I also know that when I was there wasn't like the NXT factory, and it's just like anything else, man. It's like that's the progression of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we build a washer at the fucking plant in fucking Cohegan, Wisconsin, and make $412 profit when we could have it made in Vietnam and make $814?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why we can get somebody at NXT to do it for $1.25.
I want to float something out there for you that Bully Ray, Bubba, said on the Busted Open radio show on Sirius XM, that Cena should get on the mic and say he said he was going to ruin wrestling, and he had Ron fucked.
No, I thought they were going to put it on fucking. What I saw from Bubba was they were going to put the heat on. He went to The Rock, and The Rock got rid of him.
Cena went to The Rock, and they decided together.
And you don't want to put that. That's stirring up shit right there. That Rock is the fucking.
But isn't it? That's what this is about. Isn't wrestling rooted in making people not sure who's a heel in real life too?
Not when somebody's not on. One of the reasons fucking Ron's not fucking there anymore is because he's in a position where they can fucking get rid of him.
I'm saying, why not take this press and turn it into something?
Why?
To benefit.
Why? That's a double negative. The people
fans are pissed off.
The people are already pissed. He ain't coming back.
Right.
So the people are pissed off that he's gone, and then what you're gonna dump heat on? You're gonna dump heat on Rock? You're gonna dump heat on Cena?
Sure. They're heels.
Oh yeah, that'll pay off to what? January 1st?
When Rock's gone, and when Cena's gone, you mean? I want to do one more thing on this story. Dave Meltzer weighed in, and I have
Oh, God. What did he say?
I have a quote.
That Coachman didn't say.
When you make additions to your roster, you have to make subtractions. This is a quote Dave Meltzer. I was surprised with Carlito in the sense that he's in the Judgment Day thing and they have regular TV time. R-Truth not so much. He's been around for a long time, and I think people were surprised. But when you really look at it, between the age and the fact that he's just there for a quick cameo, he's not in weekly storylines or anything like that. I think that anyone who's on that borderline right now with the amount of people being brought up, meaning from NXT,
absolutely,
you've got to consider them. They're going to have a certain number of people on the roster, and every time you hear someone's coming in, whether it's from AEW or NXT, then someone on the bottom level, if you're not being used in a program or you're not a major superstar, you're in danger. But here's the quote. They're looking at the numbers. They're looking at how many do we have to cut or how much money do we have to cut, and those were the picks, and those were the Levesque picks, and that's what it is.
Always. And how does he know those were the Levesque picks?
He's Dave Meltzer.
Oh.
Sources. But he just didn't put, I don't know. This is what I heard. I don't know if it's true. He vetted it enough to write. But listen, isn't the top of the food chain, if you're going to let on-camera talent go, I'm not talking about maybe production staff where there are supervisors to do that. But if someone who's on television, recently, as R-Truth was, doesn't it have to be run by the top of the food chain, who's in charge of creative and everything? He would have had to say, okay. He would have had to have signed off on it, I would imagine. I'm not there either. But that's how business works.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but I think that it's a situation where you sit around a table, and I think one of the biggest things that I would do before I made any kind of I would look at my writing team, and I would say, do we have anything for him?
Correct.
I would say, moving forward, no.
Right.
Are you asking us to write something for him? No, I'm asking, do we have anything? No, we don't. All right, well, he's the highest paid guy at $550.
Right.
So we'll cut him.
Right.
That was Strowman. He was by far the highest paid person in that group that went before that.
Yeah, I mean, it's dollars and cents. It's business, and that's what it comes down to.
That crazy economic thing.
Yeah. How are your dollars and cents? I want to ask listeners here, because the Cash App, which is on my phone right here, is beneficial for you in so many ways. Let's dig through some of it. Maybe you've sent some money to a friend, a family member, and you got banged with a fee that you didn't expect, or they did. Or maybe they had to wait a couple of days for the money to actually show up. Or God forbid you sent it to the wrong person, you hit the wrong thing, and try to get that back. All right? Or maybe you tried to cash out money that you have in that other company account, and there's a processing delay. Cash App is simple, easy, and fast. The way to send, receive, and transfer money to family and friends. It's super. I mean, it took me less than 5 minutes to put the app on my phone, connect it to my bank, and your money's going to show up right away. There's no waiting around for days. It's your money. You shouldn't have to wait, right? Nor should the person you're sending it to. It should be as easy as walking up and handing it to them. And you want to talk about safe and secure. Cash App has your back, whether it's, maybe you're about to send money to a sketchy source and the app identifies it as a possible scam. So you get a warning. Okay, it's looking out for you. You can feel more relaxed knowing Cash App has your back. You could also do some fun things. You can customize the payment for friends. There's custom text, stamps, backgrounds. Listen. Explore the app, put it on your phone, It's safe. It's just the easier way to do business. And now for a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code, which is Kliq10, KLIQ, the number 10, to earn some additional cash. For real, listen, there's no catch. Just download Cash App, sign up, use our code, Kliq10, and if you send $5 to a friend within 14 days, you're getting $10 put into your account. Think about that, the economics. I don't know how they're in business still, Cash App. Terms apply. That's money, and that's Cash App. Thank you, Cash App, being part of the party here. And for everyone in the room here being part of the party via KliqThisTV.com. Kevin, the one not in the room right now, as you can see. But listen, it's that simple. KliqThisTV.com. Join the 11 Soft Club. Be here for our tapings. You're part of the pre-show warm-up. Ask questions to Kev or me. Here's Britt. I'm in the bar, and a guy's making me uncomfortable, so I'm leaving once my check comes. Tell him Nash is going to fuck him up. Isn't that
Sorry, I
funny?
had to run. It was lightning, and I'm too close to this window.
I was going to say, I thought you'd had it maybe. The storm was too bad and you just went home.
No, I went over and put the hurricane shutter down.
So go to KliqThisTV.com. Join the 11 Soft Club. Kev, is Ric Flair okay?
I don't know. I just saw that today. I don't know. I've read where he had some skin cancer.
The quote I saw, it's right here from Anthony Maurizio, the person who posted this. He says...
Hold on. Who's Anthony Mauricio?
Ric Flair's dear friend, according to Anthony Maurizio. Rick is indeed...
Do we know this for a fact? Because I don't want to...
It's his account.
It's Rick's?
No. It's Anthony Maurizio's account.
Yeah, but who the fuck's Anthony Maurizio? We don't... Is he just...
Well, this was tweeted and covered.
But
Rick replied.
I'll call. Yeah, but Rick replied. It didn't seem.
He said he has no cancer at all.
Right, and he seemed pretty pissed off. So I don't want to fucking give any.
Rick says, "I'm sorry people have been misled by social media, but I don't have cancer of any kind. Thank you for your concerns and for everyone reaching out. I'm absolutely fine, and unfortunately, you'll have to live and put up with me for another 25 years."
That's not the one that I sent you.
No, that diatribe was. I don't think that was related to this though.
Well, it's fucking okay.
Because I think this was today. Rick texted this today.
I'm just saying. I have Rick's number. I will call Rick and check on Rick.
All right, make sure Rick is okay.
Yeah.
I watched a little Raw this afternoon. Caught it on the replay there, Kev. Nothing really stood out to me as advancing much. I mean, it was kind of more of the same with a lot of run-ins, a lot of schmaz, a lot of run-ins.
The Money in the Banks both got, there's six.
Well, they had to fill the roster. Yeah.
Right.
Now, why Americano? Why?
I don't know.
Who went over, by the way, against Punk and AJ Styles. Why that? It was very curious to me. Why that choice?
I enjoyed it.
Does this in any way mean that Punk and AJ will be offered far less money and then let go from the roster because they don't see any future in them, and rather Americano will be the one to wave the flag? Hopefully not the case.
I don't know. Americano's getting a downside is whatever he's going as whatever one he's getting the check sent to.
Kev, I gotta tell you. Oh, this is that AAA match.
Yeah.
That he'll be at Worlds Collide. Kev, did you and your squad invent the term downside guarantee circa 98 or whatever, or was the downside guarantee a thing in wrestling before that?
there was no such thing as a down. There was no guarantee in wrestling.
Well, there was a bullshit guarantee of like $1,500 or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
No, we got it. Well, we got a flat out guarantee. Vince then came back with the guarantees, and then once WCW went out of order, there was no way of going. You couldn't put the fucking genie back in the bottle.
Right.
There was no way anybody was going to go back to fucking $1,500 guarantees.
Yeah. So, but was your initial contract? I'm gonna just take a guess here. Your deal that you left WWE for, 3-year deal, was it like 800, 900, and $1 million, something like that? It was incremental, right? It was
The first one that we from
Yes, the first
from Turner.
yes,
Oh,
750, 850, 950, something like that. I seem to remember.
yeah, that was like the first deal we got, and then that changed within as soon as they pulled that stupid fucking Kane and Diesel, or the Diesel and Razor look-alike, or they were
Fake
coming
Diesel
back.
and
That we got a fucking big bump on that. We were making we got longer time, and we're making 7 figures.
wow, it helped you out a little there.
Yep. And then somebody came in, we got a Favorite Nations, and
Brett, it was Brett, wasn't it?
no, it was later.
Okay.
Then somebody else. Then we just decided I think we got an idea of what Hulk was actually making, so we went in and asked for more. We were always, along with Barry Bloom, we were always in the process of renegotiating our deals.
Was there anything incentive? You mentioned Hogan's deal, and we covered that here and read the WCW contract, where there were a ton of incentives. Were you incentivized at all in that
No.
initial? So there were no ratings tied to you ever?
Nope.
No.
No.
Merch on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And so if anyone doesn't know, the favored nations clause was that you and Scott and Hulk too, or
No, me and Scott.
just you and Scott. If someone came in, how was it worded? If someone came in and made significantly
More than us, then
you had to match.
We got matched.
Okay. Hey, who was that one? Who was that first one to move that needle? You said Brett was later, so who would have been the 90s? Was it 97,
Was it
98?
Piper?
Who went over there? Piper, Warrior?
Might have been any of those guys.
Yeah.
Brett didn't come till 98, maybe.
Yeah, because Montreal was 98, right? All right. So that's the lifeline of the downside guarantee. I always found it laughable that they actually put on paper that they were guaranteed. I'm saying $1,500 because that's what I remember, but it might have been less even. It might have been like $1,000. But WWE would put on paper that you're guaranteed to make $1,000 this year.
No, your guarantee was 10 events at $150.
So that was okay. So
That's how it was worded.
And still strange to me that as a 1099 independent contractor that you had to sign it. Something guaranteeing a certain number of dates. But I guess that's...
I guess if Hulk wouldn't have turned in Jesse, then maybe we wouldn't have had to.
Would have had your union?
Yeah.
It is weird that in sports entertainment, the sports world all have unions. The entertainment world all has unions. When you put those two together, it's strange that it has like a negative ion effect on each other. The electrons cancel out and there becomes no collective bargaining whatsoever.
But it's kind of, I mean,
sports entertainment.
we're kind of like this, like musicians.
Well, I've heard you sing. I know you are, but what do you mean?
I mean, no, we're just kind of like musicians. Like we work for the fucking, the mega fucking power, and we sign our lives away. We get shit.
Mm-hmm.
We make them rich.
Mm-hmm.
And then we change our name to a symbol.
To get out of the contract, you have to become the wrestler formerly known as Kevin Nash.
Exactly.
You get fucked.
You do.
And as long as that's happening, you're going to want to have better sex with BLUECHEW. BLUECHEW is the original brand offering chewable tablets
Fucking throw it back at them.
Better sex. Exactly. Turn around and
you're going to get fucked.
Swing that thing around.
But take this. Something like that.
BLUECHEW is now offering a combo so strong, Kevin, that you could really go back at your oppressor and knock their socks off. We're talking about BLUECHEW Max. It has arrived. It combines the active ingredients of Viagra.
Just keep Laurenitis out of this whole thing.
Right. Well, I'm going to mention that after this read. The combo of the Viagra and Cialis ingredients acts fast and lasts in BLUECHEW Max. So, guys, just be ready when your partner needs it, and you get your first month of BLUECHEW free, and I'm going to tell you how to do that in a minute. Best thing about this product, the best thing about it is what it does for your wood. But beyond that, it's all done online. Sign up at BLUECHEW.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. The tablets are, Kev, made in the USA.
Yeah.
Prepared, shipped directly to your door, okay? No waiting online at the pharmacy, no bullshit at the doctor's office. You're going online, you're consulting, you're getting them in your mailbox in a couple of days. Guys, make life easier by getting harder. Discover your options at BLUECHEW.com. We've got that special deal. Try your first month of BLUECHEW free when you use the promo code NASH. Just pay $5 shipping. That's promo code NASH. Visit BLUECHEW.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BLUECHEW for being our longest running sponsor on the show.
Thanks, guys.
Kev, you made a flippant reference during the read, but that was in reference to our being told when we reported the news story last week. The newsworthy part of this story was that John Laurenitis was no longer named as a defendant in the civil case brought by Janell Grant and her lawyer against McMahon, that rather he would be working with Janell Grant's people.
And somehow people, I guess, didn't understand. And there was actually, there were people that were talking about this in our industry, the podcast industry, and they were like, well, maybe I got this wrong because I thought that you had to do the criminal case before the civil case. And I'm thinking, like, did these motherfuckers not realize that
there's no
criminal case?
No, they looked at it and there was nothing there, and they dropped it. So, but I mean, that's not even the news story. But the news story was that Laurenitis is going to be worse. So any reference to our glossing over the fact that there's a lawsuit against McMahon? Oh yeah, we said that there's a lawsuit. There's a lawsuit.
It's
a civil lawsuit. Yeah, for money, not the criminal charges by the federal government that was dropped. For now. So it wasn't the news story. It's strange what people choose to take issue with. I don't know. I guess people's egg timers go off and they have to get online.
No, it's just the people when it comes down to it, they don't. Somebody said something the other day, and I just said, could you just like? I didn't even want to go in. I said, just research your question, like research it yourself.
Yeah.
Because like you're so fucking I'm not even gonna argue with you.
You're enjoying a Lit Aid beverage here. I'm having Sean's Blue Raz. Don't forget our friends at Get Blitzed. So that's what I'm drinking, if anyone's wondering.
My wife said to me the other day, she goes, You got a giant box at the post office.
It's 2 cases.
I said, yeah. I said, it's little aid stuff.
How about a little Dear Sexy, Kev? We have people that need advice.
Sure.
We all wonder, what would Kevin Nash advise if these actual Dear Abby archived letters were sent to Kev and not to Dear Abby? Dear Sexy, my son is a loving husband, father, and son. He coaches his 12-year-old son, my grandson, in various sports and sometimes is just a spectator. I'm worried because he often berates his son's playing ability. He has yelled at him during and after games, whether he's coaching or not. He yelled and screamed at him in front of everybody and later at home. I've told my son to no avail that it's okay to give constructive criticism, but without the yelling. I've also told him how it crushes my grandson each time he does this. My daughter-in-law is also at a loss for how to change his behavior. My husband coached my son in sports when he was young, and he was hard on him too. I love my family dearly, but I don't know what to do in the situation. Sexy, what do you think we should do? That's from Heart-Aching Grandma in New Jersey.
There's nothing worse than a father living vicariously through his son, you know, to have some kind of athletic career that they didn't have. So I don't think you should coach your son. I think it's okay if your son wants to, like, he comes downstairs and says, hey, Dad, you want to go out and shoot baskets? You want to show me some stuff? That's fine. As far as actually coaching, I think it's a horrible idea.
Good point.
You're there to be their father, not to be their coach.
Very good. Dear Sexy, I have a strained relationship with my sister. There has always been a lot of drama surrounding her over the years. She has always played the victim. We talk only if one of my parents is having a health issue. Currently, my sister's in the middle of a contentious divorce. It's been going on for 2 years, and she's taking her victimhood to the next level. She's posting on social media about all kinds of things she alleges my brother-in-law has done to her. My wife and I have chosen to stay out of it. We have watched them treat each other badly over the years. My daughter is now graduating. She'd like to invite her aunt and uncle to her graduation party. What's the right thing to do? I'd prefer not to invite either of them. I do not want drama at that party. That's from Grad's dad in Indiana.
Just because they're family doesn't mean you have to hang out with them. If they're a buzzkill, they're a buzzkill. You don't pick the neighbor next door to come over to your party. If every time he comes over, he throws up in the house. She's out of her mind. You know, it doesn't take a genius, man. Just don't invite them. The fact that they know that she's berating him on whatever social media, like, that's not a rule that says you have to follow your sister.
Right.
Like, just, don't follow her. I guarantee she'll get the message. They never talk anyway unless it's about their parents' sickness, and I was waiting for which parent was sick, and she's going through a divorce, so obviously that's not the case, is it, asshole?
But do you feel that you'd be, because she's going through the divorce and that's what the drama is now, is it like maybe not her fault so much this time because, or she's just trouble? She's just trouble.
You don't have a relationship with her unless it's that.
But the daughter, the girl graduating high school wants them there. Because I guess.
Well, tell her to get a job and she can pay for it.
Did your family, was there ever somebody that kind of had to get cut off from the Nash family at home, as your childhood family, I mean? An uncle, an aunt, a troublesome cousin?
Not really. I mean, everybody's got their skeletons, but I mean,
Everyone was always around you. There was no one ostracized.
yeah, but that was different times, man.
Yeah. I love the times we're in now, where I can go online to a company like VIIA and be given options to live my life a certain way. If I need a little help, if I need a little focus, if I need a little love assistance to pair with my BLUECHEW, the folks at VIIA will curate the mood you need. I mean, mine is assistance with sleep consistently, right? So we have, I think, Kev, you said Tamara had this was the non-THC Zen for assistance in sleeping. Kev's Jam was the High Love. All individual
And focus.
different. Yeah, focus. Yeah, I had
I think it's orange.
Yes, it is. That's the. And I have Euphoria here too, by the way, if I want some Euphoria. And little convenient travel packs too. And here's the sleep one, Dreams. Guys, this action that I have here can be yours too. 500,000 happy customers are not wrong about this. VIIA is changing the game in natural wellness, combining high-quality hemp-derived ingredients with powerful cannabinoids to create real, effect-driven results. This is not just fancy packaging and empty promises. You want better sleep? You want more focus? You want a boost in the bedroom? Maybe you just need to chill out a level because your stress level is off the charts. Whatever you need, VIIA has a solution for you. And the best part is they let you customize the experience, whether you're looking for daily wellness, laser focus, or deep relaxation, that kind of chill, that keeps you on the couch a little longer. VIIA has it. You don't have to jump through hoops or get a weird doctor's approval or any kind of special card. VIIA ships legally, nationwide, and discreetly. Because let's be real, your nosy neighbors don't need to know what you're up to. Okay. Listen, go to VIIA, VIIAhemp.com. And they'll have their little product finder quiz that'll hook you up with the perfect match in less than 60 seconds. If you're over 21, treat yourself to 15% off and get a free gift with your first order when you use our exclusive code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at VIIAhemp.com. If you're over 21, you can check out the link we have below or go to VIIAhemp.com. Use that code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q. Get the 15% off. And after you purchase, they may ask you where you heard about them, and you're going to say, click this. Enhance your everyday with VIIA. Thank you. You, VIIA. Oh, what am I looking at? Kevin Scott?
Outsiders for life, brother.
Looking at a little Kevin Scott, Outsiders for Life. And you know what? If you look at the bottom of the little figure there, they're flexing the perfect boot. And the people who are going to help you do that, or your dad on Father's Day, we are nearing Father's Day, is BRUNT. B-R-U-N-T. BRUNT is what I'm talking about. Choosing work boots usually meant you're sacrificing comfort or durability if they felt good. You want it to last, or they wrecked your feet because they weren't made right. BRUNT Workwear finally ended this trade-off. They've designed boots that withstand the toughest job sites, yet are as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. I ordered the black with the white stitching, and it is with no steel-toed boot, with just the regular soft toe, and it is money. I love them. I wear them with my jeans all the time. I work on a work site, so I don't need all that durability. Hopefully
but you
nothing
could
happens
still
in my day.
Curb stomp.
Absolutely. If I got to fuck someone up, these are the boots I'm doing
That's
it
right.
with. Founder Eric Girard grew up blue collar. He started this after his friends in the trades encouraged him to start a workwear brand. They go beyond the boot, by the way. That was built for them, and that's why all the BRUNT products are named for the guys he grew up with. This Father's Day, upgrade the hardest working guy you know with boots that are as tough and dependable as he is. Whether he needs waterproof, safety toe, soft toe, pull on, lace up, Brunt's got him covered, okay? And these might be the most comfortable work boots on the planet, but they're built to perform day after day. Father's Day, our listeners are getting $10 off Brunt with the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code KLIQ and you're all set. After you buy, do us a favor. When they ask where you heard about Brunt, tell them we sent you. Brunt didn't just make durable work boots, though. Remember, they invented comfort for the hardest workers out there. So for Father's Day, not only does Brunt have special discount bundles, but our listeners are also getting that $10 off if you use that code KLIQ at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code KLIQ. You're all set. All right, please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Thank you, Brunt. I love my boots. I love my Brunts. Hashtag AskNash is how you can talk to Kev. Hit us on the socials with the hashtag AskNash. We'll find you like Cartoon Canadian. Kev, he says, WWE Hall of Famer, held world titles, WWE, WCW, traveled the world, entertained and partied your ass off, yet you seemed to avoid all of the pitfalls of addiction, managed your money well, stayed fit to this day, and retired a legend. Why can't other wrestlers seem to do this?
Everybody's different, man. Maybe if my father doesn't die when I'm 8 years old, none of that. Maybe living so many years without a net underneath you.
So it's more inherent in the person than it is in the business.
I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak for myself. But I know that there was a lot of years of just uncertainty. And I knew that once I made it, I sure as fuck wasn't going to blow it.
Very good. Brandon Dunn. Hey, Kev, any tips on how to deal with insomnia? I'm sure being on the road for 30 years took its toll on sleep and quality of sleep.
God, you look. I mean, when you're in the rat race and you're going up and down the road, you just sleep when you can. Now I'm a fucking mess.
Once you get in bed, are you able to stay asleep for 6 hours, whatever?
Yeah. It depends. I have such a tendency to drink so much fluids throughout the day.
Oh.
I mean, like 160 ounces is probably my average. So, I mean, I'm drinking water until I go to bed.
Right.
So I end up getting up a couple times and having to piss.
I was in the sun today, and I was wearing a hat. You see this stripe on my head? It looks like somebody rolled a bike tire over my head when I passed out in the street. This is really troubling me. It's getting worse as the show goes on. I'm sure you all watching at home were wondering the same thing. How about some audience questions? We have a very, very big live audience here tonight watching the taping, which you can do if you go to KliqThisTV.com and sign up for the
Nice.
Club. Hey, Britt, Uncle Kev, I got the gecko out of my house by taking your advice. The hell was the advice again? I'm trying to remember.
Solo cup and a piece of cardboard.
That's right. Okay. And Britt also wants to know your thoughts on Mariah May taking a pay cut. Is she getting a bang for her new buck?
I heard they made her change her name to Mariah Mark.
Taking $250,000 to go to her dream job at WWE.
I thought she was
over $1 million to stay in AEW.
And how much was she? Yeah, she's losing $750,000. That's the stupidest. That's stupid.
But to be on the biggest stage of them all, Kev, doesn't that matter? It wasn't your dream to be.
No, not when you land on and you pop a cervical and you're done and
right.
you're $750,000 less.
Very good.
You
valid.
I don't know. Like I've always said, man, when I was at my peak in popularity, if somebody would have came up to me and said, we'll double your money, all you have to do is work 40 hours a week at the McDonald's drive-through window.
You would have put on that hat, wouldn't you?
Shit. You want to supersize it?
You're so Detroit. Another question. Another question. Who's here? Instagrammer wrestling historian. For the WCW storyline, who was supposed to be the driver of the white Hummer that crashed into your limo? Thanks in advance.
Yeah, if you figure that one out, that
Let us know.
yeah, I don't think it's one of those things that never got never got answered.
Very good. Who else? Tal, what food is your guilty pleasure? And we mean real guilty pleasure, like goes against your diet restrictions.
Key lime pie.
You can drink Kev's Key Lime if you go to get-blitz.com and order that. Key lime pie. And Florida makes an amazing key lime pie.
That's well, because the Keys is Florida Keys is where the limes come from.
Yeah. That is real. Who else? What do we got? Ivan Garcia. My brother has thrown low blows about my mental health challenges using words as ADHD. I did research and it turns out ADHD is part of spectrum. Seeing the psych in July. Any advice?
No, I mean, you're only a month away from seeing your doctor, so.
And you Ivan, you are doing the right thing. I want to say that. I mean, that's the big step, right? Saying, okay, I want this addressed. And what's with your brother? Is he so perfect? The other Garcia?
Well, I mean, but it seems to me like you're self-diagnosing this. I did research, and it turns out
ADHD is part of
the
spectrum.
It's part of the spectrum.
But it's actually his brother who first threw out the words ADHD.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, who is the mental health specialist that's even,
Right. Your doctor will straighten all that out.
Yeah, I would keep
an open mind and go in.
Go in and talk to your doctor and tell him where you're at.
Jen says, Ivan, your brother's a dick. I'm with you on that.
I looked it up, and yes.
He's a dick.
He's a dick.
Or a twat, as they might say on Mobland. By the way, Google's AI says the driver of the white Hummer was supposed to be Savage. Would that have made sense?
No idea.
Okay. Who was Ace Ramon? Did you ever say what song you wish you could have used for your entrance? I could see you and Scott stepping out to Strawberry Letter 23. You guys must have talked about alternate entrance music, right?
We came out to the Fugees on the road. Ready or not.
Had to be a house show, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that your choice?
That's my choice.
Okay. Excellent. So there it was, Ace. That was the entrance, and he got to do it. Hey, Britt, what's going on with WWE right now? Seems there's a lot of tension with the higher-ups, and it's starting to bleed into the product. I'm considering canceling Netflix, to be honest. Come on, Britt. Give him a chance. Got to right the ship. Success breeds this kind of contentment sometimes. The Roman Empire didn't fall because it sucked. So it's up to the powers that be to root out the troublemakers. Keep the ship on its keep the ship moving. We'll see what happens. Give it to the pay-per-view, for God's sakes. All right, Britt? Give him a chance.
I don't see any bleed into the talent.
Quality of the show. I'm assuming she's talking about the
yeah, but man, you've got that's a lot of fucking television.
Yeah.
It's back up to 235, 238 an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And mine's without, that's without
Ads.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mine's like
It's a
230.
3-hour show.
Yeah, mine's 238, 235 with no ads.
Steve, you have anyone who can wrap us up? Edgar Waltson. How do you feel about Trump and Musk butting heads lately? Thank you for all you do for all of us.
I mean, it's interesting. I wish that people, like, there's so many people that just don't understand. Like, let's take Green, for example. And she says, well, wait a minute. I didn't read the bill that I've already signed off on. I didn't read that part where it said that you couldn't have AI in your state for 10 years. Like, okay, so you don't have an aide that has an aide that has an aide who could have read that, summarized it, put that in paragraph form, so the War and Peace that you guys put together as a smokescreen anyway, you guys would have maybe had an idea what was going down before you read it and realized that 85% of you don't really think it's that beautiful now?
Yeah. Good point.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You know what I know? Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat. Created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver. Producer Steve Kaufman. Graphics by Dominic D'Angelo. Title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2025. Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do another one?
I ain't gonna play Sun City.
Let us free to fade away into eternity. Circulate, you've come to love me, but now I'm frozen in dead flesh. Oh, Sophie, knew all along it was a trick, but the customer service never answers the thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns, you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never